It's about testing this directly in your experience, in my experience. And the way that I could test this was to take a short moment and to see whether clarity or awareness was present as whatever was occurring. As whatever was occurring in this completely unpredictable, ceaseless flow of experience. And each time I relaxed, each and every time I relaxed for an instant, I allowed everything just to be as it was without needing to go into endless descriptions about what I was thinking or how I was feeling or what was going on over there. And I just noticed this natural presence of clarity. And I tested it again and again and again. And I tested it with this thought and with that thought and in this situation and in that situation. And every single time I tested it, there it was. It had never gone anywhere. All I had to do was notice it. And as I noticed it for these short moments, it became more obvious that it was always there. It was just subtly retraining myself to emphasize this clarity rather than just all of the descriptions. Because when I'd only been focused on the descriptions, I'd been ignoring the context that they all shared. And so I'd never been able to make sense out of them. And yet immediately from this vantage of clarity, I could make perfect sense out of all of them. I could really make sense out of my own behaviour. I could suddenly make clear decisions from a really relaxed space. Because this relaxed space wasn't dull, it was bright and it was dynamic and it was wide awake and it had this piercing intelligence. But this wasn't an idea, this is what I found for myself. And then I approached it logically, because when I looked at nature, and it's amazing nature here, it's beautiful, but I looked at nature and it was obvious that, well, everything is working as this harmonious whole. There's violence in nature, there's animals killing animals and eating them, but it's all working as this harmonious whole. And I looked at nature and that was obvious. Every time I looked out there, it was just obvious, this unity of everything. But then, if everything was unified, if everything was one, then logically that means that everything is one. So then logically that must apply to me and all of my thoughts and my emotions. It doesn't make any sense that, well, everything's one except my thought that I'm worthless. Everything's one except my anxiety. Everything's one except my sadness and depression. It just doesn't make any sense. There's no logical consistency there. So this was great. It really made sense to me on an intellectual level, but the power of the single practice of taking short moments of this instinctive recognition with whatever is occurring, that's the key. That's the key that brings this beautiful theory into your everyday lived reality. And really the way to share this with other people is to just become completely convinced in yourself and to see that there really is no one to convince of anything. This teaching, it's an offering. We offer this teaching to people that are interested. There's nobody to convince of anything. We're not proselytizing. It's an offering, and for people that are interested, they're naturally attracted. And what happens then is the ability to make really clear decisions, to relate with openness and warmth. To really suddenly there's this feeling of, well, how can I actually help and support other people? Because the focus has shifted from me and my concerns and my worries and my fears and my hopes and an obsessive focus. And I'm talking about myself here. This is how it was for me. That was the focus of my life. How can I sort myself out? What do I need to do to feel okay? And just to see that all of that really naturally just relaxes and softens. And it's not about ignoring any of these, but just having the correct perspective on all of them. So you're able to look after yourself, but it's no longer an obsessive compulsive disorder, where that's the sole focus of your life. And so obviously then there's room for other people, and time for other people, and an uncontrived desire to actually help other people. It's our natural state. So all you're doing is allowing that just to become more and more obvious. And it's just a really easy way to live. Life always seemed, quite a struggle to me. I mean, and it was a struggle that I often enjoyed, but it did seem to be hard work, and I often felt uncomfortable and ill at ease, and just to see the way that's less and less and less, and there's more and more just this gentle confidence, and to see that I don't have to avoid anything anymore. There's no relationships that I do have to avoid with my own thoughts and emotions, and with other people and situations. I can actually face everything from this quiet openness, and it's just an amazing relief. It's a real practical instruction for living. It's not a theoretical philosophy, and the only practice is to take short moments of this instinctive recognition. You don't need to tell yourself that everything's perfect. You don't need to tell yourself that everything's one. You just need to relax again and again and allow everything to be just for an instant, and notice clarity. It really is that simple.